live. Don, in Denver. It looks like a beautiful day in Denver.
Beautiful day. You wouldn't believe it. We got like almost a foot of snow 2 days ago here. So, from 30 to 80 back to 80. So keeps you hopping. But great to be on the air with you today, Mike, with another Link Tank Live. And what do we want to talk about?
Well, today, first, we always start by giving the new guests the lowdown. Link Tank has one objective. You walk away with one proven strategy or tactic that you learned today from Don and I, or from someone else that joins us, and you put it to work, like this afternoon or tomorrow morning. And that's the deal. Now, unfortunately, we know, and it makes us very sad, that 90% of you will hear a great idea that Dan and I talk about, and probably we're going to give 3 or 4, but do nothing. And how do I know this? Because Gary Vaynerchuk, the master himself, was asked, why do you give away your best proven strategies to millions of people around the world? And he said, I have no problem because I know 99% of the people won't take action. So this is a challenge, right, Don? We're challenging everyone to take what we know works. It's not a guess. We know it works. We're doing it every day. Do it. And if it doesn't work, Don and I are going to get you a virtual coffee for your time expense.
Well, I think the key is taking action, and that's the whole foundation of Link Tank, is offering free, valuable advice. A lot of people offer you free advice and it's worth about what they charge you, right? This is valuable advice that you can actually put into use. And the reason we give you one takeaway is it's easy to do, right? People, there's a philosophy that says if you do a little bit every day that's right and it compounds, it's amazing what you can do. If you read a page a day of a good book, you'd have 3 books under your belt in a year, and it's 1 page. Everybody could do it. The tips we give you are not even like tips, they're proven workable strategies that we deploy ourselves every day. And if we're wrong, you'll know within the day. And if we're right, maybe that'll earn us another opportunity to talk to you either through Link Tank or through a direct message. And we've been starting to get some of those, but a lot of trepidation, for whatever reason. And we're here to try to break through that trepidation and give you really valuable insights and strategies you can deploy right after the call.
Yeah, very well said. And so let's get into some nuggets. And we're launching Link Tank to actually help you implement, right? You're getting ideas here. We've got a million things that are working, but to help you implement, and just sign up and you'll be the first to know when we go live with that. And you're going to get an outrageous price as well. So you'll see it. Just message us and say, I want in. Now, today, I thought it would be great to talk about your data points that you need to understand when you're doing manual outbound on LinkedIn to be successful. Because if you don't track your, and that's not a lot of data, but if you don't track your key metrics, then you basically, without measuring anything, it's very difficult to get better. It's the spaghetti system against the wall. You might luckily get better, but you don't have to guess because the magic's in the data. The data is going to tell you, oh, do more of that or optimize that or do less of that. And it's virtually, it's instant. It's within an hour of you doing something, you have data to really understand more or less. So think about that. It's, it doesn't exist really in any other channel of your business where you can just experiment, make optimizations, and get better. So this is key for everyone to really understand. Before I go into my former business partner, John Asseroff, I used to always say this in the beginning. I didn't understand. I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes, there's small hinges that swing big doors. So if you think of one of those European castles with those gigantic doors that swing open, they don't have 50 hinges. It's not because it's a bigger door they have 50 hinges. They still got 3 hinges. So it's the small hinge that swings a big door. So we're going to get into there's only 3 real metrics that you should pay attention to. I'm going to get into that in a second. But first, I wanted Don to share a way to be invited to do outbound, right? So we're going to talk about different outbound stuff, but a way to be invited to do outbound where literally, Don, as you said, in the next day, you can, fulfill that invitation. So why don't you share it, Don? Because it's just magical what you do.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. And there's all kinds of different strategies, but I'll give you one of my favorite ones, which is using a poll. And polling's available to everybody. So when you post, it has a little icon down below, a little building. Hit that, it's a poll. I'll even give you the poll you could use that has the highest amount of response. And that is, are you interested in new LinkedIn connections, or are you accepting new LinkedIn connections? Right? Because that's usually what people.
So just explain that, the strategy behind it and the effectiveness.
Well, the strategy is, first of all, you ask a question. It could be very general. If you want larger response, can be very specific if you want more focused response. But by asking a question and getting an answer, now you have been invited or have permission to respond to the response. So if someone says, yes, I'm interested in more connections, you could say, if that's the person who you feel is relevant and aligned with who you're looking to match up with, is thanks for responding to my poll. I see you have an interest in this. I'll be happy to have a call to discuss. And that's a lot better than just reaching out, cold calling, or just picking someone who you don't know and try and make that happen, versus someone who already took the time, trouble, and effort to support what you did. And in essence, it's really just some gratitude that you're expressing, but now you're at least more familiar, and you've got a basis to talk about what the question was. So there's less fear that, boy, now I'm going to have to hear their speech, versus, hey, let's just discuss what you had an interest in and leave it at that. It's safer. And, right now I'm getting 100 to 150 responses on a poll a day. And if my goal is to find 10 great people, it's not hard out of 150. And that's
so let's
right.
Let's break that down, because let's get into some data. So first off, what Don is saying, you create a post and you say, are you interested in expanding your network? Simple. Yes or no? No. Some people have to see that. And if you've done it and are doing a good job with your content production, and you're a thought leader and you understand all the things that we've been speaking about for the last 3 weeks about content, ideal customer, pain points, what to do, how to teach, PEXR squared, and your content is fulfilling and adds value, then you will continue to attract more and more of the ideal customers. So you earn the right for valuable eyeballs. And so when you ask, are you interested in expanding your network, and say 10 people say yes, then what Don's saying is, then you have 10 people that told you they want to expand their network. So the natural thing is, awesome. I'd love to connect. What would you think about anything about expanding your network? So it's like normal nature. You ask something, they responded, you say great, and then you're in a conversation. And Don, of course, is got a big head start on all this. He's been doing it for a couple of years, but the numbers he just shared are enormous. He's getting 150 responses, and he's getting, what'd you say, 10 or 15 people that
Yeah,
are,
that's my target every day, and it could be greater. So it depends on who you want to talk to, what you want to talk about, but it's right in front of you. There's so many people who do things on LinkedIn, and it's like ringing a doorbell and running before people have a chance to open a door, right?
wait a
So
second, you just said ringing the doorbell and running.
yeah.
So I'm embarrassed to say this, but there was when this is, I don't, I'll probably never be a politician because I just said this, but we were kids in this neighborhood, and there was one grouchy old guy that was mean and nasty. So we did the old fill a paper bag with dog shit, light it on fire, ring the doorbell, and run. And he opened the door. We were behind the trees and watched the stamp it out. And so he did get the fire out, and he did get a pile of shit stuck in his shoes. So yeah, it goes back a long way. But yeah, so you're right.
See?
People are slimy, right?
Mhm.
People like they're trying all these tricks. It's like, hey, LinkedIn is a place to do business. LinkedIn has data that says people do business on LinkedIn. People are looking to do business on LinkedIn. People want to make and expand their network on LinkedIn. They want to then start a conversation. They want to see who can help who and who can be of value in my network and your network and who can introduce her to. This is what happens. And furthermore, if you're not doing that, then now we're going to get into data that I wasn't expecting to talk about this real quickly, but as we're talking about it, I'll bring it up. But then the real situation is LinkedIn has its own rating situation. It's rating you, it's rating me, and it's rating us in the system. It basically, the rating system is called the SSI score, and it literally is determining what you get from LinkedIn. It's basically them saying, are you a good, powerful, solid citizen in our platform? And do you deserve to be rewarded? And I'm going to share the screen now because I think this is important and it goes along with our data. And then you can pull up your SSI score and then share it because I know yours is Rockstar too. And can you see that, Don? Now?
Mhm. Yeah,
This is
yeah. Okay,
yeah.
you're
So this
doing
is this is my SSI score, 82 out of 100. But look, I'm number one of number two. I'm top 1%. I'm top 1% in my network. I'm top 1% in India. I'm top 1% across the board. So when you look at this, like what LinkedIn says, what do with Mike? Are we going to show him more people? Sure. Are we going to treat him as a great citizen? Are we going to help him build his business? Yes, sure. People in my network, look at this. They're 51s out of 100, right? I'm like blowing them away at 82. Now, here's the key. 82, it's made up of 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 components. So the best you can get is a 25. So if I had all 25, I'd be at 100. I haven't really seen anyone at 100. But here's the key. This is what you have to understand. LinkedIn wants you to do outbound in a classy way. They don't want you to do automation. They don't want outbound automation. In fact, they hate outbound automation. And they'll ban you for outbound automation. And there's a list. I don't have it handy, but there's 250 softwares that they sniffed out and absolutely banned for against the terms of service for outbound automation. And they know if you're using outbound automation and you think you're fooling them, or the outbound automation thinks they're fooling them, nobody's fooling anyone. It's Microsoft. They're just letting you play until you get annoying, and then they'll just give you the 1 a day temporary ban. Hope they scare the shit out of you enough where you're like, I'm not going to do that again, because if you get permanently banned on LinkedIn, what's the opportunity cost for that? It's
Mhm.
it's outrageous. I would never take the one. Number two, used to be able to do 100 outbound a day. No, Don and I are not going to do 100 outbound a day. We don't have the time. So yeah, you would make a case to use a machine to do it. But now you get 100 a week, and everyone's going down to that. all of that mechanical outbound automation pissed off all the people around the world, and they complained to LinkedIn and Microsoft. They got to protect the network. That's bullshit. People shouldn't getting spammed on LinkedIn. So they took it all away in an instant, in one day. You get 100 a day, now you get 100 a week. Take that, stuff it. The key is that Don has just showed you a way where if you're clever you can get 10 people that are raising their hand. Here's the thing. When you do that, you improve your SSI score. So they want you to be in Sales Navigator, this is 18.9, and making lists of people. They want you to build relationships, which means connecting and messaging and doing outbound. And they want you, the top one here is produce content. So they're literally incentivizing us to do, I'm going to take this off now. They're incentivizing us to do business. That's so what are you going to do? Are you going to say, okay, I don't want to step up and actually get a better SSI, which will enhance everything. I don't want that. I want a worse SSI and I want worse results and I want less sales. You don't step into what we're saying today. Let me just repeat that. You want a lower SSI score. You want less distribution from LinkedIn. You want to put yourself in there as someone that's not a powerful player on LinkedIn, and you want less sales. And you want less as a thought leadership because it's not all about sales. A lot of people, some of our customers just want to be stay relevant and be thought leaders. It's not all about sales. So you want less of everything, then go make that choice. But we're showing you one way that Don said, which is the genius way, where people are raising their hand and saying, please reach out to me. And you fulfill and what the obligation is in a classy way. That's one way. Don gave you the numbers, right? 150 he's getting. No, we're all not going to start out like that. But if you got 50 and 5 said yes, that's 5 people a day maybe. That's huge. Now, maybe not all optimal potential clients, but even think about one quality conversation a day with somebody new. What did we used to do in the old days? Beg, cold call, kick, trip, pull hair to get a conversation started.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons we're so excited is we have context to compare what's available today through LinkedIn to what wasn't available back then. Some things carry forward, like building relationships, and I see on your score you had a 25, and really LinkedIn tells you where you stand in every category. But here's one thing you should always realize: you should do what's right for you and focus on what you do best, right? And if building relationships is the thing you do, you'll get a nice score for it. To give you a little screen share just to reinforce that 150, I'll show you today's poll and post, and you can see what I'm talking about.
Beautiful.
Okay. Okay, so here it is, and it's 4 hours ago, and it says exactly what I mentioned before. Are you accepting new LinkedIn connections?
1 second, I got to do this, Don. I got to actually bang it like this, share it. There we go. And now it should be clear for everyone. So go ahead.
Okay, so here's the post. So if you can see that, and here is the poll. So if everybody can see that, so far it's only been 4 hours. I do got 97 votes. And so getting 150 is not an issue. When I click on this, you can see 94 of them were yes. And if you look at the people, I mean, here are significant people, and all I'm looking for is 5 to 10 a day that I could reach out and create those conversations. So everybody has this ability. It's just really taking advantage of it, having a consistent strategy, that makes the most sense. So, and basically at this point, I got 2,000 impressions. And, this is something that continues to work every time I do it. So it's not guesswork. Another thing is having a plan. To Mike's point, anything on paper is more powerful. If you say I'm going to do 5 calls a day, then the question is, where are these calls going to come from? Right? You want to do a poll and get them. You want to get Sales Navigator and do some slicing and dicing and getting them. But the thing is, it's a game of numbers as well as quality, right? And if you have the numbers, you'll get the quality because you'll get the practice, right? You'll learn what not to do. And if you do it enough, it makes it like routine. But the beauty of it is when your calendar starts filling up for you because of what you put out there. And too many people are waiting for something. And that's great if it comes, and keep waiting. But while you're waiting, do something for the other people who are waiting for you and the people you choose. Why not play on your battlefield with the people you want versus getting pot luck from what's coming through to you and feeling you got to now do something special? And that's just one tip that you can use today. First of all, if you've never done a poll, do a poll. If nothing else but to say, here's a question I really want to ask, but I never had a chance to. And then when you get the response, now you've got opportunities to invite people to conversations, change your whole routine. Again, too many people leaving stuff at the door and running away before they get a chance to see who answered it, and this gives you that opportunity. And if you do it enough, you'll show up just by doing it more than anybody else. And people will recognize you as a person who likes to ask questions and interact.
Yeah, that is perfect. And once again, we work together. You're a valuable part of Cloud Selling and our Done for You program. And we're meeting every week and adding valuable insight to our clients that are, paying a lot of money to us and for us. And even inside of that pool, we've got, it's the 80-20 rule. 20% of the clients are, continue to do more and add more. And then 80 are doing great. I mean, they're still with us, but this is why we just invite you to take what we're sharing. This is what works. Don just showed you his post from today. I mean, what more do you want? So the takeaway is, go do a post like that for tomorrow. It's not like you have to go shoot a video, or you don't have to go into a studio, or you don't have to hire an expensive copywriter. You don't have to do any of that. You just have to say, on my calendar tomorrow morning, at whenever you get in, is at 9 o'clock, at 8 o'clock, get your shit together and put together your thing. Don't post it at 8 a.m. Post it at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the best time. But get your act together before the day starts, because it's a winning opportunity. You talk about winning. This is something that's proven and it works. So awesome. So that's the first segment of what we wanted to share today, Don. It was, incredible.
Just to follow up really quickly on that, I think the key is you don't have to remember anything. You can go to Mike's post and go back as far as you want to see every post he's ever done, or my post, or anybody you are impressed with, and follow what they're doing. They've spent years doing it. If you take my post and personalize it into what can benefit you, I'd be happy, right? So if people say, I can't think of something, or I'm not that creative, copy and then improve. As long as you don't steal without giving credit, or nobody likes that, but follow what we're doing. Do what we're doing until you feel like, now I know what I want to do. And now you can continue to personalize it, but it gets you in the game, right? If my poll works every day, LinkedIn doesn't favor anybody. I think it's a level playing field. Do what I do what Mike does. You'll get what we get. I came up with a saying, is, me and Mike are the guys to call when you're tired of thinking small, so when you really want to step it up, and get in line with us.
Oh my
This
God,
is
I love
the
that.
opportunity. So yeah. So what
What's
was the
better?
next thing?
What's better, that line or the dog shit in the paper bag?
I don't. I think together, if you didn't learn anything, you had to have a decent laugh. And I don't know how many of these that are on LinkedIn Live that you can really have a good belly laugh and come away with can-do type activities that you can put into play.
Yeah. So here's one of the things that I'm as a a guy that runs an education company, Client Engagement Academy, we build online education sites and write curriculum. The one really golden rule, and we teach our clients as well, is to focus on one big idea when you're teaching. So initially we said, oh, we're going to touch on something for Don and then something for me with the small hinges with the swing the big door. But that would go against everything that I stand for and have been teaching for the last half a decade, meaning that what we've now done is encapsulated a training around one core strategy that is beautiful. We went even deeper than we thought because we looked at SSI score and we actually showed you the post. We're done. Because now to go to the small hinges, that's Friday. Only because it doesn't make sense, because we want to give one core concept a nugget during each training. And so the small hinges that swing the big door that has the bag of poop in front of that big door will be for Friday.
Well, you tied it all together pretty good. And that's something to look forward to. But yeah, and that's one thing, this can be fun and be rewarding. It doesn't have to be a struggle. It doesn't have to be pulling your hair out. Just figure whatever you're dealing with, everybody like you is dealing with it. And the difference is who takes action against it versus just continues to ponder and think and converse without an outcome. So anyways, we love to see you get on the train with us. And, we learn all the time.
Yeah, and here's an invite. Well, message us. We're getting messages now from people saying, hey, I want to be on the waiting list. And so you will be on the waiting list. You're going to get an outrageous deal. I always forget, like you're the inaugural. Can't even say the word. You're the first movers to come in as the first group. You're going to get a lifetime deal that's going to blow you away, because that's the way Don and I are. So that's one thing that I want to share. And the second thing is, join us. I have a button right here that I can push that will bring somebody on to ask a question with us. And once again, we're inviting you to come and get in front of, we don't have that many people on when we're live, but the replays now are getting anywhere between 300 to 500 views now, right? But that's, I don't even know if that's each or together. It doesn't matter. You're going to get 300 to 500 views. If it's just within us, it's pretty good company. You have an open invitation and it's free. You'll get some publicity. You'll get association with LinkedIn people that are crushing it, and you'll get maybe a little workshop or your question answered. So we put that out there. Let's see who's going to be the first one to take us up on that. Let's see how that works out.
Well, and plus so many of the people who have viewed and have messaged are people we're connected to and people we've had interactions with, right? So, that's an easy way of expanding your network by entering our network and taking advantage of those opportunities. So yeah, I think that it's all for the good. And in the meantime, I've got a website, doncohenconsulting.com, with some opportunities if someone wanted to get going on a few things while this is taking shape. And I know Mike has done a phenomenal job with clout selling, and I would invite people to view the website. The more you see who we are and what we do, the less we have to tell you about it, right? It's always better to show than to tell, and we've got a lot of things to see. So, and we're trying to really move into a sense of urgency, and that's really the foundation of what we're doing, is not just thinking about, but doing it, sharing it, getting everybody to get some knowledge, share and learn collectively, and then really be, not only first movers, but the fastest movers in a landscape that has very few people moving at all. So, you got definitely a tailwind versus a headwind. And, we're more excited as it grows. It's only going to get better.
Well said, Don. It's always a pleasure. We'll see everyone Friday at 2 p.m.
My
Come
pleasure, Mike.
ready for the small
Okay.
hinges that swing big doors.
Yeah, and stay around the door long enough to see who answers it. So we'll talk on Friday.